What's going on, golf addicts? It's the Tour Junkies podcast for the Wells Fargo Championship 2022 from TPC Potomac at Avenel Farm. I'm DB. Who are you?
I am Pat. Hello.
Hello, Pat. Hello, Patrick.
Hi.
What's the podcast choose tonight, buddy?
I am drinking a little Fat Tire beer again this week.
I'm going to Planet Tito's tonight. I'm Tito's and soda. But you know what,
I
Pat?
had a feeling you might be going to Planet Tito's this evening.
I'm pissed.
Do we need to start off with such anger?
Yeah, we do. I am tired of no long shots winning this year. I'm tired of it. John Rahm wins at 3.5 to 1, which we said, listen, if you miss it, no biggie. Go get that betting an NBA game or doing something on PrizePicks, which by the way, on Tuesday's free heavy petting email that hit your inbox, I gave a PrizePicks power play that turned $100 into $500, a 5x return, which was better than your John Rahm return. And it was all free right there in the heavy petting email. And if you're not subscribed to the Chalk Bomb heavy petting list, I don't know what you're doing. But I'm still mad at it because there have been 18 PGA Tour events in 2022, the year of our Lord. And in those 18 PGA Tour events, there have only been trace triple-digit winners. That's it. Hudson Swafford, which I hit at 250 to 1.
Hit it.
Sepp Straka, which you hit it at 140 to 1. And JJ Spawn at 150 to 1, which we were both kind of checked out. It was the week before the Masters. I was caddying at Anwa. That's it. Other than that, it's been favorites and mid-tier guys, and I am sick of it. And I know we've got a stronger field here at Wells Fargo than we did last week, but I am mad about it. I'm wearing the long shot season jacket. I'm bringing in some good vibes, and I'm so mad. You know, back in the old days, they used to tear their clothes to show they were mad. I'm going shirtless tonight.
Oh, my gosh.
I am raw dogging the long shot season jacket, and I'm going to get some juju into the PGA Tour winner circle, okay? I'm tired of it, and I want a long shot winner this week, at least 75 to 1. I'm not even asking for a triple digit. I want like 70, 75 to 1 minimum.
I actually think you can get that this week. I think you can get that. Now, 200 to 1, I don't think that's happening. 250 to 1.
It just makes me so mad. Anyway, we are presented to you by our friends at Covers. Winning starts at Covers.com, all right? It's where sports bettors have been going for over 25 years. 20 million sports bettors annually visit Covers.com for the free picks, the free articles, the free podcasts, all the free resources, the free tools, the betting odds, the line shopping, all the things. The Tour Junkies article, which also, by the way, crushed it last week, hit 2 out of 3 underdog matchups and hit both top 20 bets at plus 175 and plus 250. No big deal, but we did do that over there. It's the only place that you can get the Covers, the TJ head-to-head matchup top 20 article right there on Covers.com. Drops every Tuesday afternoon. Check it out. But, you know, they've got the forum with over 500,000 members. They've been doing it a long time. This is not some fly-by-night, betting content site, okay? So go to Covers.com. That's where winning starts. And thank you to Covers for sponsoring the podcast. And, Pat, as we look ahead to this Wells Fargo Championship, we've seen Avenel Farm before. In fact, you know what I did today, Pat? Part of my research process, now that I'm full-time DB.
Yeah, what did you do? Because I probably was not able to do this.
Yeah. So, I mean, I put out a video and it's on the podcast feed for audio only, just breaking down everything you need to know, nothing you don't about TPC Potomac at Avenel Farm, including some stats, some trends, some player quotes from back in the day. Because they did play this course.
You didn't bring out an old Nintendo and play PGA play, because that was one of the courses on PGA Tour back in the day.
Yes, I did mention that in one of my videos today. I don't remember which one, but I didn't.
You didn't do that. Okay.
But I did break out an old Tour Junkies podcast from 2018, the Quicken Loans National, where you and I broke it down. And buddy, we've come a long way. However, I will say, we hit Francesco Molinari that week. In fact, yours truly was all over Francesco, and he won by 8 shots. So that was back in our winning ways. So maybe we'll get some juju from that. But it was crazy to listen to the awful audio quality of our show still in 2018, 3 years after we had started the show. 3 years after we started the show, we still sounded like absolute just trash. Just trash. But I picked up some good things. You had your course breakdown. That was when you were doing your course breakdown on the reg.
Yeah.
And it was okay. It helped me out a little bit. It wasn't great. It wasn't great if I'm honest, but it did help me out a little.
Man, you just like coming with all kinds of anger and hate, and like you've mentioned yours truly like 3 times.
Well,
So
just with the Hudson Swafford bet and then the Francesco bet from 3 years ago. That's
okay.
how long it feels since I've hit the last one.
Hmm.
Anyway, I did some research on it. If you want to check it out, you can hop up in the YouTube video or wherever you listen to podcasts. But it's a pretty course. It's a cool course. Big redesign in 2015. So while they used to host a tour event there regularly back in the early 2000s, it is much different now. And I'm excited to see it. We obviously know Quail Hollow is setting up to host the President's Cup in September, which is the same weekend that our live golf event at Mountain Valley in Pennsylvania is going to be held in a legal gambling state. So if you can bet your bottom doctors that, we're going to be betting on college football, the NFL, and the President's Cup at our live event. But Quail Hollow is doing that, so TPC Avenel Farm is stepping up. I hope TPC Avenel Farm gets more looks in the coming years. I really do.
I think it should. It's a really good course. It's difficult. I think you mentioned it on the course preview YouTube video that it's I think it plays as one of the hardest non-major courses when they play tournaments here. And when Molinari won, he obliterated the field by 8 shots. He won at 21 under. Everybody else was less than that. So
it's only a handful of guys at 10 under or better.
Yeah,
it was.
We're also going to get some pretty bad weather this week, I think.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. I think that's going to make some stuff interesting. I want to talk more about that when we get to the PrizePicks segment at the end of the show. If you're watching live, thank you for watching live. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up, please, if you don't mind. Give it a like. And I have the question of the day, or the question of the week in the comment section is, did you watch the Mexico Open? I'm curious how many people actually watched it, given the field, or were you intrigued by the new golf course? So did you watch it? Yes or no? And then maybe one thought or takeaway, one opinion that you have about the tournament, Jon Rahm, the golf course, Mexico Open, whatever. What's a take? What's an opinion on that? Slide up in the comments. Let us know. All right, Pat, top of the betting board. Let's take a look. Up to 25-1. Rory McIlroy opens up as our favorite at 8.5-1 on DraftKings. Corey Connors there at 16-1. You got Fitz, Hatton, Henley, and Leishman all at 20-1. And then Seamus Power and Tony Finau at 25-1 on DraftKings. Obviously, highly recommend you do some shopping, right? Shop the lines. But starting there, Pat, what are you thinking you're going to do here in this top tier range? Who you digging? Who you fading? What do you think about attacking the top of the board?
Well, first off, even though last week we saw a guy like that's distracting, DV, when you're showing your chest, your bare chest, when I'm trying to give some serious information to the folks here. I know we saw the betting favorite win last week in Jon Rahm. Rory is the betting favorite this week. I don't really have any interest in him. I don't necessarily know if this is like a great course fit for him. I mean, I like Rory with the driver in his hands where he can be aggressive with the driver. And I just don't know if this is really the course for him to do that. You got to be pretty accurate off the tee. If you miss off the tee, you're not really in great shape. So I worry about that a little bit with Rory. I think the guy that a lot of people are going to center around, and definitely for DFS purposes, they will, which in betting, it doesn't matter what ownership is. And I think this guy's going to be high owned, but I don't care because I want to bet him. And you can get him at 20-1 actually on BetMGM. And that's Corey Connors. I think this is a great course fit for Corey Connors. If you can get that 20-1 number, I like it. Even if it's less, if it's 16-1 like we just flashed up for DK, I'm still okay with that. I like 20-1 for Corey Connors. The guy's an excellent ball striker, accurate off the tee, great on approach. So he certainly struggles with the putter, but still Corey Connors 20-1. He is definitely one of my favorite plays this week. And then the only other guy in this category that I would look at as much as I hate to say it, as Matthew Fitzpatrick at 22-1. I
Why do
think
you hate to say that?
I don't know. It's just because I feel like he never wins when I pick him or wins at all.
Well, yeah, I mean, he doesn't
So
win on the PGA Tour, that's for
n
sure. So,
or he never
I don't
wins
know how
at
many
all.
DP World Tour podcasts you're doing on the side
Yeah.
picking him, but
But he does, he does fit the bill here when you're looking at ball striking. He's top 20 in the field. He's 21st in approach. He's top 20 in fairways gained, so very accurate off the tee. Fourth in par four scoring, mid range. Top 60 in putting on bent grass greens. So I think Fitzy at 22-1 is also a good play in here. I guess for the avoid, it would be, I don't know, because it's so like the books have a lot of disagreement this week, and I'm going to talk about one player where there's some major disagreement here in a little bit. So it's really kind of hard to pigeonhole guys that are less than 25-1 because some of them are higher than that on other books. Like for instance, Russell Henley, he's 20-1 on DK, but he's 33-1 on BetMGM. So I guess I'll just say Rory because I don't have anything else better to say.
yeah, and I was looking at at TPC Avenel Farm, the course record is held by three guys: Abraham Answer, Francesco Molinari, and Kevin Streelman. All shot 62s in 2018. Also in 2018, the next best scoring record would be JJ Spawn and Andrew Landry shot 63s. None of those guys do what Rory McIlroy does. None of them, right? And it's not to say that super bombers can't play well here. In fact, I'm going to give you a handful of them here in just a little bit, or at least on the DK show, I've got a handful of them. But it definitely takes away Rory's greatest weapon, I think, which is obviously the driver. And I think it's just going to make him think a little bit on a few of these holes. There's definitely some, shorter par fours. There's a drivable par four. I think it's number 14. There's a couple of long par fives that I don't even know that Rory's going to get to, especially if this weather that's coming in is going to make this golf course a little bit softer. That's going to be even harder to get to these par fives. I think the shortest par five is like 590, and the other one's like 6 something. So it can definitely happen. But I think you're right with the price that Rory is. I'm not going to play a favorite here. It's long shot season. I'm wearing the long shot season no shirt. Why are you smiling, Pat? You're already in the chat. What is it, Pat? You share with the class. Mother.
No, I'm not. I am not. I'm actually laughing at a text that you and I got because they were listening to the show because they texted me earlier, you and I both, and I laughed at that, and they noticed that I laughed at it during the show. So,
Yes.
but
They
here, by the way,
know that you have ADD.
if Rory plays well this week,
Mhm.
we gotta restructure some things about Rory for the rest of the year because not only has he played well at the Masters, which is a course that's a great fit for him, then he's played well on a course like this, which we probably would agree is not the greatest fit for his game. Things are then in go category here for Rory to do extremely well the rest of the year, which I think he will do. But I think this will be an interesting week to watch him and watch his play.
Yeah, I mean, I think he can definitely play well here. I'm not going to take him at 7.5 to 1, 8.5 to 1, whatever he is. A lot of agreement here with me. I had Connors written down as well on MGM at 20-1, Fitzpatrick at 22-1. And I am a little intrigued again by Finau at 25-1 on DraftKings and PointsBet. Finau, dude, his irons last week in Mexico were killer. I think he gained like 8.5 strokes on approach. He was the second ranked player in the field. And if you're thinking, damn, he gained 8.5 strokes on approach, who gained more than that? And there is a guy, and I talked him up last week, and I'm going to talk him up again this week. But Finau's irons are back, and his short game last week, which his around the green play typically has been one of the things that he's always done really well, and he's been underrated for, but it has left him in 2022. And just last week, he had another good week around the greens, and I think that's going to be important here. These are tougher greens to hit, tougher golf course. You're going to have to scramble a little bit. So Finau at 25-1 is interesting. I will also say this: another, it feels like lately with some of these shorter odds, up at the top, if you're somebody that likes to bet those, I think you need to start looking at these early because, like, just last week is a great example. We had some names, and I guess it didn't really come from the short range, but more the mid range. Like Cam Champ and Aaron Wise are two that I'm thinking of in particular. When I did like the live reaction show, those were two names I brought up. Cam Champ was like 75-1, and then but when when Thursday teed off, he was like 45-1. And then he was in contention until late on Sunday. Aaron Wise was longer as well and shortened a lot. Corey Connors is one that's already shortened quite a bit today. I think DraftKings rolled him out pretty short, like 20 or 25-1. But FanDuel, I believe at one point earlier today, had him at like 37-1 or 26-1 or something like that. So you can definitely get some value, I think, on some of these, top end players if you look around early on Monday and do some line shopping for sure. So I think the fade for me in here, other than Rory, is also Terrell Hatton. I'm not the ball striking, the off the tee game for Haddon has been dreadful. He is almost dead last in this field in fairways gained. He's almost dead last in any sort of long iron metric that you want to look at. He's not avoiding bogeys very well. He's not doing that either. It's obviously very putter dependent. The irons have been solid, but that's about it. And 20-1, I'd much rather have Connors. I'd much rather have Fitzpatrick or Finau for sure. So that's the top of the board for me. Now, Pat, I want to get to the mid range, but I do need to tell some people that you've got a career ahead of you, obviously in Tour Junkies, because we're going to make Pat full time one of these days. But on the side, a lot of people don't know you are the fantasy golf sommelier. You fancy
Mhm.
yourself, a very good wine connoisseur, alcohol connoisseur, if you will.
Yes.
But you are also, becoming you're a blossoming barista. Honestly, you got your big spaceship coffee machine in the
I
morning.
do. I finally got
Yes.
what is a coffee machine that any barista such as myself should have.
Yeah, and you're learning, and you're doing a great job,
Yeah.
I hear. And I've had a cup of that coffee; it's delicious. You're working on your designs. You've sent me a couple of them.
Mhm.
Uh, one of them looked like a cock and balls. It looked like something in an Austin
It
Powers
was an
reference.
accident. I
One of
was
them,
trying for something different.
yep, one of them like an amoeba, and I don't know what you're trying to make there. Maybe an amoeba. Were you trying to do an
No,
amoeba?
I was trying to do an amoeba. I mean,
Okay.
look, an amoeba is an art form to make an accurate amoeba.
Okay. Anyway, your coffee game is stepping up a notch, and I'm pumped because we have now partnered for an extensive partnership with Front Nine Coffee. Okay. Front Nine Coffee, born and bred right here in Augusta, Georgia, fresh as fresh as shit. Okay. Real fresh coffee, right? You order it today, guess what? Your beans that you ordered are probably still green. And then they get roasted in the morning. They're going to be fresh. They're not sitting in some bag like Starbucks or that crap you buy in the grocery store, getting gassed up,
Hmm.
get gassed up like, like Marshawn Lynch or something. I don't know why I thought of Marshawn Lynch, but your coffee stays fresh. It stays real fresh, and they're gonna start doing. Pat, are you excited? They're gonna do a Tour Junkies blend just for us.
I I cannot I can't contain my excitement about
Yeah,
this because
it,
it's gonna have a lot of us. Like they're gonna infuse DB and Pat into the coffee blend.
I
Like
think mainly you, but yes,
you're gonna be waking up in the morning, making a good cup of coffee, drinking it, and you're gonna feel like tour junkies and
yes.
victory and long shots and everything. Like it's gonna be great.
It's small batch artisan coffee. It's roasted daily and ground to order just for you. So if you want to pick, like Pat's going to get the whole bean so he can do his thing. But if you need it, finely ground, coarse ground, whatever, they can do it. They can handle it for you. It gets done the day you order it, and then it's shipped to you quickly, so it gets to your doorstep. They ship anywhere in the U.S. They'll ship in Canada for all our Canadian folks. Just go to front9coffee.com. That's FRONT9, the number 9, coffee.com. The beans are imported from the finest growing regions around the world and roasted in Greenville, South Carolina. So it's beautiful, man. They got flavors like match play, pick it up pecan. Okay, and it's pecan, it ain't pecan. Lauderdale light roast, Captain's Choice Kahlua caramel, and then fried
Oh,
egg
that sounds
breakfast blend.
good. The captain's choice. Mm.
Yeah, the Captain's Choice is good. I've already had that one. I've been hitting that light roast in the morning. That's kind of what I've been doing. I hadn't done the fried egg breakfast blend yet, but I like that light roast. If you use promo code TJ10, you get 10% off your order. Support these folks because listen, they are going in, you know, they're diving headfirst with the Tour Junkies. Possibly a mistake on their part. Okay. They are supporting us for quite some time. We're appreciative. They're also going to support the live golf event in September. Very appreciative of that. You'll probably be getting some fresh coffee served from them there, as well as maybe an Irish coffee later on if you wanted
Mm.
at the event. Um, and they're just they're doing us right. They're going to help us create our own label. Pat's going to be a coffee guy, like on a bag. I mean, how great is that? We're going to get a Pat. It's going to be beautiful, man. Yeah. Did you ever think you'd come this far in your dreams, Pat?
I never made it this far in my dreams
Mm.
that I would be on a coffee bag.
Well, thank you to Front Nine for stepping up. We
Yeah.
appreciate it. Front9coffee.com, promo code TJ10. Let's get it. All right. Middle of the betting board, kind of up to the 75 to 1 range. I like this range a lot, Pat. And I think it's got to start. And here's a name I think if you can bet it now, I think you bet it now. Well, I guess he's at the top of the board here in this range on DraftKings, but he's longer on FanDuel. It's Cameron Young. So he's sitting here at 28 to 1 on DraftKings along with Max Homa. He is 41 to 1 on FanDuel. Last I checked, right before the show started. I like that. You got Gary Woodland, who had a good week, decent week in Mexico, ball striking anyway at 35 to 1. Paul Casey's at 40 to 1, making his return after withdrawing from the Masters with an injury. It'd be interesting to see what he says. Our boy Siwoo Kim at 40 to 1. Patrick Reed, who had a decent week at 40 to 1. Sepp Straka, the last bet we hit, which feels like ages ago, he's at 40 to 1. Webb Simpson's coming back. Jason Day is back, 50 to 1. Matt Kuchar's back, and he's got Brian Reed on the bag for him. Brian Reed was the caddy when Kyle Stanley won here in 2017. Now, listen, if you can lead Kyle Stanley to victory, you damn good. You know what I mean? So B. Reed, shout out to B. Reed. He's on Matt Kuchar's bag. Our buddy Joel Damon, of course, is 60 to 1. Doug Gim down there at 65. So that's kind of the mid-range here. But I like Cameron Young. I like the value at Cam Young at 41 to 1. And listen, he's a bomber, yes, but finished third at the RBC Heritage. I definitely believe the Bombers can still play really well here. I'm just saying the guys that have shot the lowest scores out here were not necessarily Bombers, but I like Cam Young a lot. I like the promise. I think he's ready to win on tour. He's probably very familiar and very comfortable on bent grass greens, being a northeastern, New York. I think Sam, correct me if I'm wrong, like West Bank guy. Isn't that where Sleepy Hollow is? His dad was the director of golf or the head pro at Sleepy Hollow, which is a majorly awesome golf course.
Wait, who is this?
Cameron Young.
Cameron Young, yeah. I like Young this week, too.
Yeah.
With you.
So I think you grab that on FanDuel because I think that's going to get bet down. Sam, I don't know what that is. Sam's putting strange names of towns.
I've never even heard of that, Sam.
Terrytown? What?
It sounds like something from a movie.
Back it up, Terry. Back it up. Put it reverse, Terry.
Terrytown.
That's all I know. Put it reverse, Terry. What you doing, Terry? You ever seen that? That's the funniest video on the internet. 41 to 1. I think you better get on that now. It's not going to stay there. And then I see Homa on PointsBet at 45 to 1, and I like that. And I haven't been on Max Homa a lot lately, but he's checking a lot of boxes for me. And I think he's ready to do a little something over here. So I like Homa at 45. And Straka at 65 to 1, I'm liking, and Siwoo at 50 to 1. Siwoo's 50 to 1 on MGM. Straka's 65 to 1 on FanDuel. I really like those four powerhouses there. And none of those guys are short hitters by any means, but ball striking is there. I was surprised to see Siwoo's driving accuracy numbers on Fantasy National or fairways gain numbers were actually very, very solid. He actually, in my little first run model, Max Homa's 5th overall, and Siwoo Kim is 6th overall in my initial model here. So I like those. I like the value on those guys a lot. And Sepp's number 4 in my model. So the 4, 5, and 6 guys right there in this range at 50 and 65 to 1.
Before you became full-time DB,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you didn't say my model as much. Now you say my model more. You've become a model guy since you've become full-time DB.
Well, I wasn't going to tell you this, Pat, but when I became full-time DB, I got invited to these secret meetings.
I know. Are you with the model people now?
Yeah. We have these secret meetings. We meet in we actually meet in I think it's Brian Kirshner's basement or something. His mom's there. She brings us snacks and little beanie weenies and stuff. But it's all the full-time diehard model makers, and you only get invited though if you're a full-time tout, and you got to be really touty. You have to have a nice backlight, and you're almost there, buddy. One of these days you'll be there, but you're not there yet. So I wasn't going to tell you, but that is the case. Sorry.
So that's what happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and we all bounce models off each other, and you know, we do a little model comparison. We tinker with models. Rick Gaiman teaches a class every other week.
Do y'all get in, like, model arguments?
Oh yeah. There's some heated debates in there, but I'm still a rookie in there, still like my
Mhm.
month two, so I don't really say much. I just kind of, I just me,
You're not ready
I
to
tend
that
to
you're
lay
not
low.
ready to get to that point where you're, like, you know
Yeah.
trying to be like a model, like, you just like, you're so confident in your model that, like, somebody hates on your model, you're not you're gonna just tell them that they suck. You can't do that at this point.
Yeah, I mean, part of the steps that you learn in this is that you actually, first of all, before you can really debate the model in the meetings, you have to take it to the streets a little bit. So that's why, like, I throw it out in some of the videos and I hit you with it because I know, if I can handle your reaction, then I can handle the reaction of like Pat Mayo and Feinberg and those guys. But I'm getting close. I think I'm almost there. I definitely don't feel like the smartest kid in the room, but I'm a veteran, so even though I haven't been full time for a long time, I've been in the game for a minute, and so I feel like eventually I can get these young whippersnappers
Attention.
trust in the old guy a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
One of these
Alright.
days
Well,
you'll be there, dude. You'll be there.
okay. Well, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
we hop on Gaiman's jet, and he just flies us to Kirchner's house.
that's fantastic. I don't ever wanna be on that jet. Not nothing against that. Nothing against I like to beat to my own drum, be on my own jet, you know?
No, listen, I mean, I guess it's because I have time, dude. Damn. I mean, I got time on Monday. It's like everything I do every week is all just condensed into Tuesday and Wednesday in this like big ass content-a-thon of my typing fingers just going all crazy Tuesday through Wednesday. So Monday, I'm like, oh, I really got a bunch of time to sit here and do research. And I don't have to
Yeah.
fake like I'm doing real work. So, at that point, I start thinking like, well, damn, maybe I should really think about my model here and not just pull up the stats I like, but like build out the model and give it some percentages and blah blah blah. So that's what I've been doing. I mean, now listen, I haven't been going crazy on it, but
You should look if you're you're doing this full time. You got to bring that heat. So
yeah.
let me talk about my guys. All right, they're not all model based, but actually some of them were just like you. I liked Siwoo, right there around 50 to 1. I think is a good number for him. I like Seamus Power at 40 to 1. Now Seamus has had a fantastic year.
I looked at that.
Um, we have not seen
That's
him
what I don't like. That's what I don't like.
since the Masters.
Yeah, like what's Seamus been doing, man? Like where you been? We've had
But I mean, wasn't that his first Masters and he goes out in his T27?
oh yeah.
That's not bad
I
at all.
It's not bad at all. I'm like, what's Seamus been doing? Why has he been hiding? What's been going on? And now it's like, he's just coming out the shadows. I
I
don't
think he's hiding so
It
he can
makes
come
me
out and win
nervous.
this week. He's coming out the hole and he's going to win.
Is he gonna
And
win though? Like first event since the Masters? Like I bet he just went home and like decompressed for a little bit, and I don't know.
I think
That
he
worries me a little.
can. But you know what? He is a great putter, by the way. Top 20 in the field putting on bent grass greens. He's top 50 in driving accuracy, top 50 in ball striking. We know
It's
he's had a great season. I think Seamus Power at 40 to 1. I like that a lot. Here's a guy that I think is interesting, and I wonder if it's just because is does DraftKings Sportsbook know something that we don't?
Mm,
Because Troy Merritt
nope.
is 35 to 1 on DraftKings,
Really?
but he's 75 to 1 on FanDuel.
Why
What's
would he
going on?
be 35 to 1?
What's going on here? Like, why is Troy Merritt 35 to 1? Like, what do they know? So I want to get him at
What do they
75
know?
to 1
Okay,
because something's going on here. Now he has been in good form. Look at Troy Merritt's form.
I don't care what his form is. If it is not, he's won back-to-back golf tournaments. There's no reason Troy Merritt should be 35 to 1 in this field. I would
Fourth
argue
at
he shouldn't have been 35 to 1 in last week's field.
I'm just saying, fourth at Valero, 12th at the Heritage.
It's Troy Merritt. It's Amish Troy.
And I'm telling you, I agree, but why would you not take him at 75 to 1 when another like smart person sitting in a cubicle or a desk or whatever is looking at all the odds that they're going to make this week is going to put them at 35 to 1. There's a difference there.
Hold on though. Or DraftKings loves live events. They love going to live events. We're talking to them about our live event. They like these live event activations, right? Where they can go and get in your face and sell you live on the DraftKings Sportsbook, get you to download the app, make a deposit, get a bonus, start gambling money, right? Maybe Pennsylvania is a legal gambling state. DraftKings is in Pennsylvania. Maybe I'm putting 2 and 2 together here. I used to watch a lot of Criminal Minds back in the day. Maybe they know that maybe they have an activation event with the Amish community that we would never guess they'd have. But there's probably some, just like we have our tout meetings, there's probably some young whippersnappers in the Amish community that love a little bit of technology, might have an iPhone hidden under a hay bale somewhere, and they like to do a little gambling. And they're having a little meeting that they've invited DraftKings to and said, yo, you can get some live activation in the Amish community right here. And then DraftKings knows that the Amish people love Troy Merritt because he looks like their people. And then now they are setting the line, they're setting the hook in the mouth of the Amish kids, knowing, stay with me here, knowing that they'll jump on that Troy Merritt number.
Or somebody's in on something, and DraftKings knows that Troy Merritt is a favorite of the Amish, and so everything is going to be showing favoritism to him on this event.
Saying.
And so FanDuel has got this 75-1 odds number on them. But FanDuel's not in on it. They don't understand. They don't know that there's going to be favoritism towards everything Troy Merritt does this week. So that's what I'm saying. You jump on Troy Merritt because FanDuel doesn't know about all the Amish connections.
I think in either scenario, I do not jump on Troy Merritt. I do not.
Okay. Either way.
Normally, I don't mind a little Troy Merritt. I don't know.
Well, that's all I got. Really,
not today. I also like. Do you think Doug Gim could get his first PGA Tour win here? He played well last week. Continues to hit the ball well. He's at 70-1.
I like Gim. I'm kind of gravitated more towards him in DFS. Same with Sepp. Although I do like Sepp's strikeouts. 65-1 is really good for him.
He's rolling right now, dude.
He really is
rolling. All right, let's get to the longer range here, up to 130-1. Starting off with the local boy, Denny McCarthy, very familiar with this golf course, this area. CT Pan, everyone's favorite. Adam Long, who somehow managed to have a good week last week. I literally went off on Adam Long in the Nut Hut on the Wednesday night live chat, and I apologize. Kevin Strillman.
Well, you were wrong because I liked Adam Long, and he finished pretty well.
Mm-hmm. Kevin Strillman, one of the course record holders. 80-1. You got Aaron Rye down there at 80-1. Anirban Lahiri 100-1. Cam Davis, Molinari, Bo Hostler 100-1. Lipsky 100-1. Brandon Wu, Matt Naismith 100-1. I like this crowd right here. This is a range I really like. I got a couple names over 130-1, but I like a lot of names in here.
I think this is where the winner is going to come.
God, please let it happen.
And I hope this is where it comes from, but I think you're right. This is where the winner.
Let it happen. Go ahead. Who you like? I'll let you start.
All right, I'll start with.
I love this range.
How do I not start with CT Pan?
Nope, I don't like that one.
I'm a fan of CT Pan, 80-1.
I just can't do it. Like, it's like, what is it? I can't do it. I
don't know. I mean, the dude is a very solid golfer, plays well on courses like this. So I don't know why you couldn't really get on CT Pan, to be honest.
Maybe you just haven't done a great job selling me.
Where is he in your model?
Maybe people in the comments.
Let's pull him up in your model.
Let me look.
Get your model up and tell me where he is in your model.
People in the comments, sell me on CT Pan. Oh my God. Pat. Maybe I should redo the model.
Where is he?
See, okay, this is where there's a problem. Okay.
No. You're part of the model people now. You need to trust your model.
Hold on. I'm about to help the people. We've never claimed to be experts at this. Never once. Okay. That's why we don't sell you our picks. We don't, everything on the websites, there's no paywall, right? We have never done this. And, So I'm going to admit a mistake here. I'm going to admit that there are some times in the betting DraftKings world, you have blind spots for things, right? Like you just have blind spots for people. And some of it's subconscious, some of it you're aware of, some of it you think you have a good reason for. Some, I don't know. But I clearly have a blind spot for CT Pan. I can't ever, it's like I don't see him because he is 10th in my model.
See?
CT Pan, yes. And I can't, I literally, if you'd have asked me what he was in my model, I'd been like, I don't know, like probably 50th. I looked at this crap all day today. So I just, there are players out there. Maybe we need to, you know what? Maybe part of therapy for this is we just need to write their names down on a sheet of paper, write them out, like admit, write it down, admit who you have a blind spot that you can't see and you won't give credit to somehow subconsciously. One of mine is CT Pan, okay? And then maybe we need to do something with it. I don't know if we light it on fire like you would at like a church camp or something. That might be the opposite of what you need to do. Or maybe you just need to like look at that list and pray for him every day or something. Or I don't know. Maybe you need to send him a handwritten letter, like a fan note or something. I don't know. But somehow I have to rid myself of the CT Pan block because I do have a block. Granted, it's not like
Yeah.
it's cost me a lot through the years. Like, what's he done? What's he really ever done? Not much.
I mean, he's won a tournament before.
A tournament? Like, I'm not missing anything by that.
Still, okay.
But
Well,
he is
you're
checking a lot of
wanting to
boxes.
get some longer shot wins this week. We're talking through some guys that could give you a longer shot win.
I know he won, Sam. I know he won. I said he won. He won
Here-
a event one time.
There's a lot of people I'm about to talk about that haven't won a single event. So one of them is Denny McCarthy. You mentioned him earlier. He's at 100-1. I like Denny McCarthy this week. By the way, third in the field, putting on bent grass greens. He is 30th in par 4 scoring, which is one of the stats that I looked at. I think Denny McCarthy at 7,300, or sorry, that's the DFS show. Sorry, 100-1. I get confused sometimes between the two shows. DB, did you know that?
Yes, I did.
Couple other guys that I like. Brandon Wu coming off of a good start last week.
Yep.
Him a lot at 100-1.
He played really, really well.
He really did, and I think he is going to be kind of a future stud on tour. So I like Brandon Wu there.
I don't know if they're up yet because they weren't up at the start of the show. Yeah, they're still not up. There's no top 20s up. What is going on?
Yeah,
but
top
I
20.
especially like him as a top 20. Is he ready to win yet? I don't know. Like, even though he had a high finish last week, he wasn't like in contention. He just made a late charge on Sunday. It was like a low. I mean, was he like 64 bogey free or something on Sunday, which is great. But a top 20 for sure. But it is 100-1. Like, it's attractive.
I think the top 20s aren't out yet because there's such disagreement
Weather
from the books out there on some of this stuff. Or maybe they're wanting to see what this weather is going to do. I don't know. Who knows? Couple others. Anirban Lahiri is at 100-1. Anirban has been playing fantastic this year. Okay. I think that he is a good play for this week. I like how he's playing. I think a course like this is a good course fit for him. So I like him. The last one I'll throw out there is Mark Hubbard at 100. Wait, yeah, he's 130-1. I like Hubs right there.
I don't like Hubs. Okay, Brandon Wu for sure I had written down. Matt Naismith at 100-1. Don't know how you can ignore Naismith. Found himself in contention late at the Valspar. Ball striking checks every single box you can imagine. Long irons, wedge play, stroke gain approach, hitting fairways, has plenty of distance, avoids bogeys, just no short game. But, we see it all the time. No short game all of a sudden shows up one week with short game and boom, bam, thank you, ma'am. He's won. 100-1 on DraftKings. I like that. David Lipsky, 100-1. I've been talking him up. I said last week, I feel like in the next 12 months, David Lipsky's going to win a golf tournament. He played really well last week. I think he had like a top 10 finish or something like that. I can't remember. But he played really well last week, and he was number 1 in the field in strokes gained approach. He gained 9.5 strokes approach last week. 9.5. That is that is going to set up nicely anywhere. But at a course like this, tough greens to hit in regulation, if you can hit these greens in regulation and gain strokes on that approach play, you are going to have way more opportunities. And those opportunities, that's what Francesco Molinari did to everybody when he just bludgeoned the field in 2018. He made a bunch of putts, but he had a ton of opportunities. He just dinked and dunked his way, fairways, greens, and made putts. I love Lipsky at 100 to 1. I think the guy has real win equity. He's won on the Korn Ferry Tour. He's won on the DP World Tour. He's won on the Asian Tour. He's a worldwide winner. He can get it done. I like it at 100 to 1. And then this one might kind of surprise you, Pat, because I haven't said this dude's name in a long time.
Oh.
And he hasn't really been playing great. This is kind of a gut play, I guess, really, because I don't think let me pull him up in my model. I don't think he's checking any boxes in the model. I mean, he's checking boxes, but he's not great. He's 63rd in my model. But I got a soft spot in my heart for this guy because we hit him. I hit him at 150 to 1 last year at the Rocket Mortgage Classic, and it is Cam Davis at 100 to 1.
Well, now you talk about this guy all the time, but
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't been playing that great. But the long languid Aussie, I talked about him a lot last year because he was so dadgum good. Checking boxes on approach, not too shabby. Long-term bent putting, pretty good. Around the green play is solid. Decent iron play, long iron player. But you talk about a big hitter. This is a little bit like the Cameron Young play. Big hitter that's going to probably have to dial it back on a few of these holes, but can use the length as advantage with a lot shorter clubs in on some of these longer holes, longer approach shots, and finish third at the Heritage. So a lot like Cameron Young. So, that's a golf course where for sure some of these longer hitters do end up clubbing down, and they can still gain strokes off the tee doing so. I mean, he gained almost 3 strokes off the tee at the Heritage, likely clubbing down a good bit. But I like Cam Davis at 100 to 1. It just feels like it's a little like Cam Champ to me. Like he's got some win equity in him, and he can go stupid low and give you a top 3 finish for sure, or he can just absolutely suck. So it's one or the other. Brandon Wu, Lipsky, Davis, Naismith for me. Beautiful, Pat. Beautiful.
I left Lipsky and Naismith for you because I knew that you would like those. So
don't forget, Lipsky crushed it at the Zurich too.
Yeah,
Lipsky carried him and Aaron Rye at the Zurich. So
I gotta say, I don't have a lot of bombs.
Yeah, I don't either. Before we get to the bombs, though, I know a lot of you folks have heard about crypto, right? Yeah, we've all heard of crypto, like Bitcoin. You might even already be buying Bitcoin, like me and Pat. But did you know that you can invest in cryptocurrencies through your retirement account, which to me is a game changer? That's a game changer, especially now that I'm full-time DB.
Yeah,
I'm looking around for hey, how do I get into a retirement account now that I don't have an employee-funded 401k? Well, I'd almost rather take my retirement money savings and just put it into something like this than I would put it in our freaking stock market. You can do that now in your retirement account with iTrust Capital. You can buy and sell cryptocurrencies from a crypto IRA and get all the same tax advantages as a traditional IRA. That is huge. That's freaking huge. iTrust Capital allows you to invest in over 24 of the most popular cryptocurrencies, and unlike the stock market, you can buy and sell 24 hours a day, baby. Woo! You can roll over. You could be in the middle of the night sleeping, and then boom, there's a trade. You just do a trade. Thank you for that, Easy McDeasy in the chat. He's our resident crypto expert. I don't know what money mouth face is. Oh yeah, that's that thing he puts in the nut hut. That kind of weird, strange looking crypto thing, I think. Anyway, the iTrust Capital platform is easy to use and only takes a few minutes to create your account. Setting up an IRA is free, and iTrust fees are low. It's time to start taking control of your financial future and quit letting the freaking government and Wall Street jack up the stock market and all your savings. With iTrust Capital, you can get all the tax benefits of a retirement account while investing in crypto. Visit iTrust.capital/Tour Junkies and start investing today. That's iTrust.capital/Tour Junkies. Taxes and conditions may apply. Fees apply. Cryptocurrencies are a speculative investment with risk of loss. iTrust Capital Inc. does not provide legal, investment, or tax advice. Consult with a qualified legal, investment, or tax professional. I'd love to see you do that next time.
That's what I was literally just thinking. I was like, there's a reason DB did not ask me to do this read because I don't know if I could have done the end of that.
Oh, you'll be doing it next time. Yeah, I like that a lot. I mean, being able to do crypto in a retirement tax sheltered account, yeah, give it to daddy. All right, Pat, let's hit the bombs, and then we'll button it up with our favorite plays, early leans, and push PrizePicks plays. For me, the bombs, I'm tempted to go Lanto at 150 to 1 on DraftKings because it's Lanto. By the way, good week last week. Great week last week, actually. Continued to hit the ball well off the tee. Continues to hit the ball well with his irons. All comes down to around the greens for him. But I like Lanto 150-1 on DK. Okay, Austin Smotherman did not have the greatest week last week. Okay, he did not, and everybody was all talking him up. He still hit the ball fairly well. I think he struggled, if I remember correctly. I think he struggled around the greens a little bit, which is okay, whatever. He's 250-1 on PointsBet. And this is a Korn Ferry Tour player or rookie on the PGA Tour, graduate from the Korn Ferry Tour. But now here's a little insider tip, Pat. Who was the guy last week, if you remember correctly on the show? Who was the guy last week that I think you said you liked, I think? And I was like, never getting him right. It never happens. I hate him. Or maybe I tweeted this. I can't ever get it right. And then he had a great week. Who was it? Do you know?
It probably was Patrick Rogers.
Bingo. Patrick Rogers finished solo 10th. Do you know what was a little bit different for Patrick Rogers last week?
I don't know. His approach play?
I don't know. I didn't look at his stats, but he had our boy Austin Goggart on the bag for him. Austin Goggart's Gogs, as we like to call him, fill in caddy for Patrick Rogers. Gogs is on the market because he fired his player, which is pretty cool. I won't tell you who, but he got out. I guess he didn't fire his player. He just said, "I'm out," and now he's doing a little shopping. So he was on Patrick Rogers' bag last week, and before the tournament, I'm messaging him, and he's like, "Yeah," he saw my tweet about Rogers, and he's like, "He'll be good this week because I'm gonna help him out." And sure enough, solo 10th, right? Well, guess whose bag he's on this week?
The guy you just talked about.
Okay. Yeah. Smotherman, Smoth Daddy. You got
Yes.
Dogs on Smoth Daddy's bag. That combo, baby. I like it. 250-1, I'll take it. And then I'm going to get back on a guy that I was on last week. He had a great first round. I think he shot like 4 or 5 under round one, and then just completely crapped down his leg the last few holes on the back nine to miss the cut. Chase Seifert is 250-1 on DraftKings. If you really
God, he killed me in some lineups last week. I like him.
He killed me too, but I don't know. Like it is tough because the irons were bad, but they were only bad for like those 5 holes, right? It was those 5 holes. So if we believe that it was just a bad little stretch of holes, I mean, other than that, he checks a ton of boxes from a ball striking standpoint. And I don't know that he's going to win. It's probably more of a top 20 bet, but if you want to throw out a big bomb at 250-1, Chase Seifert is interesting.
Okay. Well, I'll just say I got a couple here. I do like Nate Lashley. You can get Nate Lashley at 150-1. He's been playing really well lately.
Yeah,
I mean, this is a guy that's a great iron player. I think this is another course that's a good course fit for him. 150-1. I mean, that's a fantastic number. I mean, he's had I think 3 of his last 4 events. He's finished in the top 30. With a couple top 20s in there. So I really like Nate Lashley there at 150-1. And I think JT Poston's still at 200-1. He's another guy. This is another good course fit for him. Very accurate off the tee, good on approach. So I think great scrambler. So I think JT Poston at 200-1. I like that as well.
Okay. There you have it. Let's talk about the guys we think you need to bet early. You need to bet right now. Probably going to get shorter, and just our favorite plays for the week so far. Presented to you by Covers. Winning starts at Covers. Go to covers.com. We're over 20 million sports bettors annually. Go to get information, shop lines, read free articles, listen to free podcasts, all that stuff. Covers.com, where it's at. Presented to you by Covers.com. I think that one of my first clicks is probably going to be Naismith at 100-1. I do think Brandon Wu at 100-1, who you mentioned, is going to probably get talked up a little bit. I could maybe see him getting to like 90-1. So I don't think it's going to drop like through the floor, but I could see that one getting a little shorter. So I like that. I think this little range in the mid tier, Straka at 65-1. I like that a lot. I could see that getting shorter. I think Cam Young for sure is probably shorter for a lot of people, unless you're watching live, is probably shorter already. But 41-1 on FanDuel for Cameron Young, that's going to get shorter. I think that's going to get bet down. So I think Naismith, Straka, and Cam Young for me are the 3 that I would really want to pull the trigger on right now if I could.
All right. Well, I'll give you my favorites here. Big fan of Corey Connors this week. If you can get him around 20 to 1, I think he's this is just such a good and perfect course fit for his game. So I like Corey Connors. I'll give you Seamus Power at 40 to 1. I know you weren't huge on him, but I think he is another guy that's primed for another win. So I like Seamus Power here. We haven't seen him since the Masters. I'm not as concerned about that. And maybe that I think the number actually would be a little bit shorter if we had seen him since the Masters, because I think he would continue the good play that he's had, and he would be a little bit shorter. So 40 to 1, Seamus Power. I'm a fan there. And then I would say Brandon Wu at 100 to 1 is my other favorite bet there at the longer shot.
Still no top 20s as of now, as of when we're recording this Monday night. Normally there are top 20s when we're doing this. I don't know what's going on. But just if I were to speculate on who would be a couple of names, let's talk long shots here in the top 20 market, that I think would be interesting. The first one I want to talk about, if I can find him, is Brandon Matthews. Brandon Matthews is a Corn Ferry Tour player. He's getting a sponsor's exemption to play here. This dude absolutely mauls the golf ball. And I know this is not necessarily a bomber's course, but he's one of the longest hitters in professional golf anywhere. Okay. He's a Corn Ferry Tour winner, great guy. He's a 250 to 1 outright on DraftKings. He's at 20 to 1 to top 10. I don't know if I'd do the top 10 number, but it'll be interesting to see what he comes out as a top 20. It'd be a long shot, but I think it's worth a look. I think Lonto Griffin is probably going to be one I'd look at for a top 20. And then the other, some of the other names we mentioned, Naismith for sure. He's a triple digit outright guy, so he's probably going to be a good value. We hit him at the Heritage, I believe, top 20 at plus 550. Love that for whatever Naismith comes out at. So those are some names I would be on the lookout for to top 20 as well. You got anybody else to add to that?
Yeah, a couple for me. I mean, I definitely think, and they're probably going to be a little bit on the shorter end, but a guy like David Lipsky, who you talked about, who's had top tens at Corrales and the Mexican Open. You've got guys like, I mean, even Adam Long, who you're not a fan of, but you look at his last few events, he's finished T35, T12, and T15 in his last three events. So Adam Long could be another good top 20 candidate. I think outside of that, without really knowing any of even solid numbers on these guys, it's kind of hard. Nate Lashley would be the other one that I would say. Whatever Nate Lashley's number might be on a top 20 would be could be around like 3-4 to 1. I would take that.
All right, good stuff. That's the early leans, favorite bets, top 20s presented to you by covers.com. All right, Pat, we got the PrizePicks stuff to talk about, and we'll button this up. We had a great week on PrizePicks last week, buddy.
Yes.
Great week. You hit 2 of 3 in the FGS, which was hilarious, by the way. Great job editing by our editor, Alex.
Yes, amazing. He's been doing a good job on the editing this year, or
What's
non-editing.
What's your problem? Like, you've been doing the video forever, and you get all tongue tied, and you don't know where you're at, and you forget to say stuff, and you start over a bunch. Like, are you okay? Do you need to be tested for like a stroke or something?
No, I think I'm good. I don't know. It's just been a tough year with it for some reason.
I mean, it's making for great content.
Well, let me just say this. Actually, Alex is not editing out things like he used to, so it makes me look worse, but funnier, I
Oh,
guess.
so it's been this way for years. It's just now.
Yeah, it's just Alex is
Okay.
not editing things
Okay.
like he
Well, I
used to.
appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Listen, if you're not watching FGS every week, even if PrizePicks is not in your state and you can't legally do PrizePicks, like, you should watch it for the entertainment value. It's like 10 minutes max. It's hilarious. By the way, if you've not signed up for PrizePicks already, please do so. Go check out PrizePicks. It's the hottest thing in the streets, and it's in New York now, apparently, which is great news. They're legal in like 30-something states, I think. If you go to PrizePicks and sign up, use promo code TJ, and you get a 100% deposit bonus up to $100 to get you started. We are cleaning house in PrizePicks in the Nut Hut. People, I cannot stress it enough. In the Nut Hut, okay, we have a PrizePicks channel in the Discord server, PrizePicks channel. It has run rampant in the Nut Hut. Winning has, and now they're becoming touts of certain sports within that PrizePicks thread that you just tail blindly and then win money.
And it
Kyle
works.
Kyle Sinehy, longtime Tour Junkies listener, great dude, just got married. Congratulations, by the way, Kyle. I think he may have gotten married in his old Tour Junkies hat. I swear to God, never
I
takes it off.
think I saw that in a picture, which
Yeah,
is great.
never takes it off. Anyway, he is a disc golf like brilliant person. I don't understand. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Where do you even watch disc golf or know that this like
He must be on.
because like you can't do the eye test with disc golf because you can't see it anywhere. So you just have to like really know some stuff.
It's unbelievable, but he literally just cleans house in disc golf. We got Major League Baseball experts in there that you just tail, NBA experts in there. Nita's in there giving her NBA play. By the way, Nita just won 10K in baseball from helping out in the Nut Hut. That's good karma for her too. She does so much. And then, the golf plays have been awesome. Golf plays have been stacked. We got people doing LOL stuff and the gaming stuff in there. I don't even know what that is, but that's happening. All I know is I'm just seeing a bunch of screenshots of people winning a bunch of freaking money on PrizePicks. You can win up to like 11 or 12x your money on PrizePicks. You got to check it out. But last week I gave you the free play in the heavy petting email. You won 5x right off the bat on Thursday. You're welcome. First day, Thursday, 5x. Boom. But this week, it's going to be different this week, Pat. With the weather situation looking the way it is, first of all, it looks like there's a chance of rain like almost every day this week. But Friday, Saturday, and Sunday look like for sure rain is going to be in the picture. But then I saw Thursday, the wind. It looks like Thursday morning, you're going to have some pretty windy conditions for the morning wave and then slowing down drastically in the afternoon, which is usually opposite world of how that happens. So I'm a little hesitant to do some PrizePicks plays right now or lock them in right now. But there were two that I feel like I probably wouldn't change on regardless of wave. The first one, and they're both the on the holes, the prop holes. So number 14, which is the par four, this is the drivable par four. It's like 300 tipped out. I think it's like 280 to the front edge. Matthew Fitzpatrick under 3.5. There's only 4 players on offer right now on PrizePicks for that. I like Fitzpatrick the most out of the bunch, under 3.5. So banking on a birdie there on the short par four. Number 14, I'll take that one. And then I'm bearish on Tyrrell Hatton as a whole. And so on number 10, which is one of the par fives, tips out at like 590. It's not the super long 600 yarder, but it's still pretty freaking long. Tyrrell Hatton off the tee game has been awful, absolutely awful. I don't see him getting here in 2 for sure, and I don't see him hitting it close enough to get the birdie. His over-under's at 4.5, so you're banking on him making a birdie or bogey or a par. So I'm going to take the over on the 4.5 for Tyrrell Hatton, and that's it for me.
Okay, well, I don't mind both of those plays. I'm going to give you my one play that is not going to be in the FGS. And that's going to be on the over on scoring for Rory McIlroy. Rory McIlroy.
Did you say that?
I think I did.
Did he say it? If he said it in the chat, let us know. I didn't catch it.
It's 67.5. Now I know this is a par 70, but Rory is typically just
slow starter.
He is a slow starter, and I don't see him.
Plus,
I think
the morning wave.
I could see him maybe having a 68. Okay, but doesn't matter. That's still going to hit the over. So I like the over there for Rory, which is set at 67.5.
The move is probably going to be to pay very close attention in the morning when tee times are released, and then head over to PrizePicks and possibly check the weather one last time, because right now it looks like quite blustery in the morning and then almost coming to a dead stop in the afternoon. So something to look at, pay attention to. But those are your PrizePicks bets, and that's our show for the week. Thanks for checking it out. We're going to go do the DFS show. Check out all the fresh content coming out on YouTube. We also have a ton of new content on the website, blog content that's all free. We've got now we've got a chalk report article that came out already on Monday, looking back at the week ahead, talking about chalk that hit, chalk that didn't. What did the high stakes players do and what did the low stakes players do? Things you can learn about game theory and strategy if you're playing GPPs on DraftKings. That article's been great. we've got a ton of new blog content coming out every single week. So if you've not been on the tourjunkies.com blog page in a while, go check that out. And obviously a lot of new YouTube content as well. So that's it for us. We hope you have a wonderful week. Bend over, yo, bookie. See ya.